What is really going on here? What's going on here? What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing over here? Why are you guys in line here? What the fuck is going on?
There are unique dialects that are also coming that I've never heard of that I'm learning now about. People from Madagascar are coming. You have people, Burundi are coming. People from countries that are not common to us. So language access has been truly, truly a challenge, especially if you don't understand. Pular from Guinea and Pular in Mauritania, Pular in Senegal is very different.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about a very disgraceful story that is becoming all too commonplace in progressive wonderlands like New York City. Now, this story involves African illegal immigrants who are here seeking asylum. Now, this is mostly military-age men who come from all across that continent. Now, it's kind of funny to think about because initially when the illegal immigration crisis was really ratcheting up under Joe Biden because he told the illegals to come to the border, we were told that, hey, you got to let them in because they're all coming from Venezuela for the most part, okay? And they're here because they're seeking asylum and they're running away from the socialist dictatorship in that country, right? But now, all of a sudden, you have people coming from across the globe, okay? You have people coming from China, Southeast Asia, the Middle East, Europe, Africa. They're coming from everywhere, okay? So are you telling me that all of these people are escaping political persecution and therefore they should be let into the United States of America, all these countries, okay, even in Africa and Southeast Asia and all these other places? Is that what you're telling me? Right. Again, I think that something is up here, okay? We're being gaslighted about this issue. And it's not just about people who are seeking asylum and escaping political persecution. This is being done on purpose. They're just letting people into the country. Doesn't matter where you're from. As long as you come to the border and say, I'm hungry and I'm escaping political persecution, you don't have to prove a damn thing. They'll just let you right in, okay? And that is why you have all these people from these different countries just coming into the United States. All of a sudden, we have thousands of military-age African men showing up in New York City. How did we get to this point? It's pretty crazy, okay? Now, we are already experiencing the devastating effects, the negative effects of that, because essentially these people are demanding more free housing. They're demanding more free food. They're saying that, hey, we need halal food. Okay, they're making all types of special requests, even though they don't contribute. Okay, they're not American citizens. It seems to me that they're ungrateful, right? And that they don't appreciate the kindness that has been extended to them when really they should be grateful that they're here in the country in the first place and that they weren't forced to swim back across the Atlantic Ocean to the countries that they came from, okay? They should be grateful that they're not being put on a boat and say, hey, you got to go back, right? The fact that you can stay here and live off a taxpayer dime for free and you are demanding more and more and more and basically saying that if you don't give us what you deserve, that you're racist?
But at the shelter, the food, my kids cannot eat the food at the shelter.
Kasuma yedo men sonjino moƴƴa parce que tawi kadi horu gongol arta kikiɗe tawa ñamete on awawata mo ñamude.
And on Ramadan time, we couldn't eat because when you come back for the breaks, the food is no good at all.
Ko ɓe jonata men kon kadi 2 mois a yalta e o 2 mois ɗo timma yalta tawa ko ya ƴettu kadi paykoy koye fof ƴetta bagage ji ma yaha kadi winditoyoɗa ɓe naɓira ma kadi nokkugo hara paykoy koye no jangirde nokkugo ɗum noon fof no wondani men e sattendi.
And they give us 2 months to stay at the shelter and then you have to go out again with your luggages and the kids and find another place. It's very difficult.
Haray ɗum ɗon vraiment hino satti min paykugan kadi janunkun mo mari 18-19 entre ɗon o wawali heɓude ha joni komo janga.
And also I have a kid that is like 18 to 19. Until now he doesn't have no school.
Like I said, I was emphasis many times that, you know, we are African, we don't speak African. We have different specificity in Africa. I'm from Central Africa. My mom is from East Africa. My mommy speaks Aramaic. My dad don't speak Aramaic. He don't even understand it. I do because my mom is Aramaic, so I do. But we need people that speak the native language to teach to those people. That's what we're asking the city, and the city refused to acclimate. This is unacceptable. This is shameful time in New York history. This city is not friendly for all people. It is anti-African and xénophobique. Cette ville n'est pas du tout accueillante pour les Africains. Elle est raciste et xénophobe, et on doit le dire. We came to share this testimony to let you all know in this council you all are responsible for this pain and suffering that will affect us for generations to come. But you also can change this for better. C'est l'hôpital qui se moque de la charité.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that, okay? I mean, these people are demanding translators, right? They're demanding free English classes, which again, by the way, is like, why the hell did you come here if you don't know English, right? If you don't know English, why did you come, okay? You probably should have learned English before you came, okay? But apparently, these people believe that the food that is being given to them by the shelter in New York City is worse than the food they was eating in their huts, right, before they decided to swim across the Atlantic Ocean and come here, okay? I mean, that has to be what it is, because they're saying, look, that food, we don't like that food, right? We deserve better food. Again, I just got to ask, okay, in Zimbabwe, okay, in Madagascar, okay, if you were so motivated to literally travel across the Atlantic Ocean to the United States, but what kind of food were you getting there? You wasn't eating no feast. You wasn't eating the highest quality food. If your food was so good over there, why the hell did you come here? I got questions, okay? So again, these people are demanding better quality food, even though, again, if you come here seeking asylum and, you know, you come from a poor country in poverty, you would think that you would just be grateful for whatever you can get, okay? They're saying, hey, we need better shelter options, and we're demanding more shelter, and all types of crazy nonsense that, you know, for me personally, it's like, yo, these illegals are uppity, okay? Uppity. So uppity that apparently some of them think that they own a high school field out in East Harlem, okay? A public field in which a group of migrants refused to leave so that a group of kids, American kids, right, could actually play soccer, okay? And apparently they refused to leave despite the cops showing up. In fact, the uppity illegals actually started throwing a fit over the fact that they were asked to leave. So let's read about this. Headline: New York City high school soccer game canceled after a group of about 30 migrants refused to leave the field even after cops show up. Again, a disgraceful story to talk about in this country, but because you have insane woke idiots running this country, running these liberal cities, this is what you're getting, okay? So let's read here. A high school soccer game at a public field in East Harlem was canceled after a group of migrants refused to leave the pitch so the kids could play. Quote, I directly asked them to leave, and some of them kind of took it into consideration, but then 4 or 5 of them said, you know what, F it, we don't have to leave, we can do whatever we want, said Eric Johansson, the coach of the Manhattan Kickers, a 17-year-old boys travel team. Yeah, so again, these people over here saying that, hey, we can do whatever we want to do, okay? F it. We don't have to leave. We don't even pay taxes, right? We don't even pay taxes, so we can do whatever we want. Again, the entitlement is crazy. About 40 boys from both teams showed up on Sunday, April 14th at Thomas Jefferson Park for the 5 p.m. match. The Kickers were set to face off against FA Euro New York. But the group of about 30 men who appeared to be African migrants and spoke a little English wouldn't leave even when the cops showed up. So again, they don't really know English, but they can say, F it, we don't want to leave, right? They can say that, but they can't, speak any other English. Again, fascinating, interesting. To resolve the conflict, the cops asked to see a copy of the club's team city permit. Well, why the hell should the club team have to show a city permit? I don't understand, right? This conflict should have automatically been resolved by the cops by saying, no. These people pay taxes. Regardless of whether or not they got a permit, they have more of a right to be here and to play than the African illegal immigrants, at the very least, because they pay taxes, if nothing else. If nothing else. Again, see, this is why I am not always back to blue. People think that I'm always pro-police. No, I'm not always pro-police. If the police do something wrong, if I disagree with it, then I'm going to stand against the police and say they were wrong, right? But if a criminal does something wrong, like, for example, drinks and drive, it's obviously drunk driving, okay? I'm not going to attack the cop because the cop said some things that may have been inconsistent. No, I'm going to actually attack the criminal, okay? I'm going to stand with the cops when they're right, when they're going after criminals. However, when cops are wrong, I'm going to stand against the cops. Again, this is a very simple concept, okay? And in this case right here, I think that the cops showing up and asking for the club's city permit, that makes them wrong, okay? That is the wrong thing to do. They should have automatically kicked off the illegals because they don't pay taxes. They're not American citizens. And you should never put foreign citizens over your own people. That should never, ever, ever happen. But again, this is what's happening in liberal utopia, okay? You have the politicians placing priority of illegal immigrants, okay, people who are not American citizens over actual tax-paying, hard-working citizens, right? Again, it's a shame. It really is a damn shame what this country is becoming. So let's read more here. Quote, when you show up with two teams in uniform, a ref and two coaches, usually nobody is asking to see your permit, said Johansson. By the time Johansson's assistant was able to forward a copy of the kicker's permit, the game had been delayed 30 minutes and the teams didn't feel safe. Quote, even when the game is over, you don't know if they're waiting for you. So even if the cops kick them out, it may not be over. So we just all agree this is too dangerous, Johansson said. Again, a damn shame, right? So you have Americans, actual taxpayers, and their children living in fear of playing a game that they're rightfully entitled to play because they don't want to upset illegals, right? They don't want to upset the African illegal immigrants that are basically taking over the field, even though they don't have a right to do that. They don't have a right to be there. They're saying, hey, well, we're just going to cancel our game and leave because we don't want to hurt their feelings, and they might hurt us. Again, it's a damn shame. It really is. Only in liberal utopia. Only in liberal utopia. In his home country of Sweden, which saw a massive influx of migrants in recent years, the clashes on the pitch were all too common. Quote, I have seen this before. I know how bad it can get, he said. Parents told him they were rattled by the incident and they don't want to play at the field anymore. Johansson said they don't plan to return. At other fields, like in East River Park, they don't have these issues, but field space in the city is limited and they take what they can get. Quote, it's so frustrating that the guys who refuse to follow the rules, one, Maud Meron, a Soho mom whose son plays on the team, told the Post, quote, that's the message the kids got. She said it is a sign of the Big Apple becoming lawless. The East Harlem field is packed with teams competing with adults for weekend time on the turf. Parkgoers said Randall's Island, which sits on the other side of the Harlem River, was converted into shelter space for 2,000 migrants last year at the expense of the popular youth soccer fields. Yeah, so we have kids suffering, right? Kids are giving up taxpayer-funded facilities for migrants to stay there, and somehow, some way, people believe that this is right, okay, that this is fair. When it's not at all, okay? Kids should not be asked to make these type of sacrifices, but hey, at the end of the day, these people voted for this, right? When you vote in these woke progressive Democrats who support sanctuary city policies, support the right to shelter laws that also led to this, this is what you get, okay? So you have to suffer and your kids have to suffer because of the policies that you voted for. And until these people vote differently, until these people change their voting habits, this is going to become very commonplace. They're going to have to be okay with their taxpayer dollars supporting these migrants, even though the politicians should be calling for mass deportation. That's what they should be doing, okay, if they really want to clean up the problem. But they don't want to do that, right? They actually want to allow the migrants to work. This is why they're dealing with it until they can actually work, and then eventually they will start taking people's jobs. But yeah, that, and also on top of that, you have to deal with migrants getting access and priority to facilities that you paid for with your taxpayer dollars. So, you know, it is what it is. Every time I do one of these stories, I feel bad, but I only can feel so bad because that's what these people voted for. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.